FreeBooksTube is glad to produce, publish, and offer. Hope, Stop Worrying and Start Living. By Sage D. Esotreasure. We all go through times when life feels heavy, moments where darkness, disappointment, and a sense of hopelessness seem overwhelming. Maybe it's a setback at work, a personal failure, or a regret about past decisions. For some, it's dealing with loneliness, confusion, or even struggling with the consequences of poor choices. During these moments, it can feel like the future holds no light, no hope. However, these times don't have to define us. The aim here is to offer a framework for finding hope and moving forward, especially when it feels hardest to do so. What this journey offers is more than just coping strategies. It is about transforming despair into growth and discovering new perspectives that push us beyond our struggles. We can learn to let go of past regrets, reevaluate our self-worth beyond perceived failures, and protect our thoughts from negativity that might only deepen the sense of hopelessness. Genuine hope is not a fleeting emotion that depends on external factors. It's a mindset rooted in resilience, faith, and the understanding that as long as we are alive, there is potential for change. It's a belief that something better is always possible, even when circumstances seem against us. In the chapters ahead, you'll find encouragement, whether you're wrestling with trauma, navigating emotional darkness, feeling discouraged, or stuck in a place that feels impossible to escape. We begin with an essential lesson: letting go of past regrets. Martha sat on her couch, flipping through the pages of an old photo album. Each photo brought memories, some joyous, but others heavy with regret. She remembered her college graduation, the pride she felt clutching her diploma, and the endless possibilities she saw ahead. If she could speak to her younger self, she thought, maybe she would have avoided some of the mistakes that later plagued her. The photos of her 20s showed a young woman full of ambition. She had big dreams of becoming a writer and traveled abroad to broaden her perspective. But then, practical concerns set in. She remembered working as a bartender and waiter to make ends meet, instead of pursuing her craft full-time. Looking back, she couldn't help but cringe at the choices she made, the time she felt she wasted. As the pages of the album turned, so did the chapters of her life. The photos from her 30s were filled with the traditional milestones: her wedding to Steve, starting a corporate job to provide stability, and purchasing their first home. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. But inside, Martha wrestled with resentment. She had put her creative dreams on hold for financial security, and the price of that decision weighed heavily on her. By the time she reached her 40s, her life looked like a picture-perfect suburban story. Birthday parties for the kids, family vacations at the beach, a bigger house. Yet, Martha couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. She often found herself questioning her life choices. The regret, deeply buried beneath smiles in the photographs, had grown louder. She wished she had been braver, wished she had stuck with her writing for longer before giving up. As she neared 50, new memories appeared in the album: her son's high school graduation, her daughter's wedding, and her and Steve celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary. From the outside, it appeared she had everything she could want. Yet, the persistent feeling of regret still clouded her happiness. Had she sacrificed too much of herself? Could she have achieved more if she had pursued her passion more relentlessly? Was it too late? Martha closed the album and looked around her well-appointed living room. Her life, in many ways, was one many people would envy. She had a loving husband, healthy children, financial security, all markers of a successful life. Still, she couldn't help but wonder what might have been. How different her life could be if she had followed her dreams from the start. Her reflection was interrupted by her youngest daughter's voice. "Mom, do you need help with something?" Martha smiled as her daughter peeked around the corner. She was reminded of all the blessings in her life. It was then that she made a conscious decision. She would stop looking back and focus on the present and the future. Regret had held her captive for too long. While the past couldn't be changed, the future was still unwritten. Martha chose to be more present in her daughter's life, to fully engage in the relationships she valued. She realized that fixating on missed opportunities was not only stealing her joy but also preventing her from making new, fulfilling memories. In the weeks that followed, Martha felt a lightness she hadn't experienced in years. She started writing again, not to chase fame or fortune, but to express herself in a way that had always brought her joy. As she reconnected with her creative side, she found that it was possible to balance her passion with her responsibilities as a mother and wife. She didn't need to sacrifice one for the other. This shift in mindset was freeing. By releasing the burdens of her past, Martha found that she could approach her life with a renewed sense of purpose. Dwelling on past regrets had only served to keep her stuck in place. Now, she was ready to move forward, exploring new paths with excitement and hope. The lesson Martha learned is one we can all benefit from. Getting caught in the cycle of regret can prevent us from reaching our full potential. While it's natural to have moments of reflection and even disappointment about past choices, allowing these feelings to consume us does more harm than good. Regret can drain our energy, making it difficult to see new opportunities that lie ahead. Instead of focusing on what could have been, we must turn our attention to what still can be. Moving forward means choosing to live in the present and embrace the future. It means accepting that we can't change the past, but can still make choices today that lead us toward fulfillment. The regrets that weigh us down are often the result of unrealistic expectations or the belief that we should have been perfect at every stage of our lives. But the truth is, everyone makes mistakes. The power lies in learning from them and then letting them go. Martha's story is a reminder that life is a journey, not a destination. Along the way, there will be twists and turns, moments of triumph, and times of doubt. But it is in our ability to adapt, grow, and continue moving forward that we find true hope. We all make mistakes in life, and these missteps can weigh heavily on our emotions and psyche. Dwelling on our past failures can be emotionally draining and leave us feeling trapped in a cycle of shame and self-loathing. When we continuously replay our past mistakes in our minds, we strengthen a narrative of personal inadequacy that can feel impossible to escape. However, there is a deeper truth to be found here, one that offers us a more empowering perspective on our past experiences. Our mistakes are not random, meaningless events. Instead, they are intentional experiences designed by our souls to help us grow and evolve. They serve as opportunities to gain wisdom and self-knowledge on our journey toward fulfillment. Reflecting on our setbacks and errors is natural and a necessary part of personal growth. But when we dwell on these moments for too long, we start to believe that everything went wrong, based on our own narrow expectations of how life should have unfolded. In reality, every setback and disappointment serves a purpose. Even when situations or decisions don't align with our expectations, they are still a part of our personal growth. Our souls orchestrate these so-called failures to push us beyond the limits of our former selves. From an expanded perspective, regret no longer makes sense. Why hold on to shame and remorse for events that are now just memories? These experiences allowed us to shed inauthentic identities and reveal our true selves. Failures, in this light, are not obstacles but stepping stones. They help us let go of the personas we've outgrown and guide us toward who we are meant to become. It's important to reflect on the lessons learned from our mistakes because they shape the person we are becoming. These experiences are written into the fabric of our souls, guiding us toward deeper self-discovery and self-acceptance. Those who can reframe their mistakes as intentional opportunities for growth often develop a profound sense of self-love and empowerment. They view every twist, turn, and apparent dead end not as failure but as a crucial part of their journey toward wholeness. The regret that once haunted them gradually fades away as they begin to realize that nothing truly went wrong. Every moment, every decision, was part of a larger plan to help them break free from limiting beliefs and step into their true power. This doesn't mean we should ignore the pain that accompanies difficult experiences. When we face hardship, it's essential to acknowledge and process the pain. Avoiding these emotions only hinders our ability to be compassionate and vulnerable, both toward ourselves and others. As complex beings, we are meant to experience the full range of emotions, from joy to sorrow. Our spiritual growth depends on this, as does our ability to connect with others in meaningful ways. What sets true spiritual masters apart is not their ability to avoid mistakes, but their willingness to embrace the lessons those mistakes offer. They see even their most significant failures as opportunities for awakening, as moments that reveal the true purpose and potential of their lives. In hindsight, the events we regret often turn out to be the catalysts that push us toward greater accomplishments and deeper fulfillment. By viewing challenging events as opportunities for growth, we develop psychological resilience. We stop seeing ourselves as broken or flawed and begin to understand that each setback was a necessary part of our journey. When we delve into our inner selves, we discover the profound spiritual insights that were instilled in us from the very beginning. This awakening brings us to the realization that everything unfolded perfectly, as it was meant to. Every part of our identity serves a purpose. Every event, no matter how painful, is a chance for us to let go of our masks and reveal our authentic selves. Those who resist the temptation to dwell in regret will ultimately find freedom and empowerment. The wounds we carry can transform into sources of strength, deepening our emotional intelligence, courage, and understanding of the spiritual lessons hidden within life's challenges. It's natural to feel remorse when we look back on certain events in our lives. But instead of letting those emotions define us, we can pause, reflect, and use them as opportunities for growth. There are no mistakes that need fixing because everything was designed to awaken the inner master within us. The path we walk unfolds with perfect coordination, and our only task is to trust in that process. We must also remember not to let our failures define us. Failure is a natural part of life, whether it's a relationship that didn't work out, a career path that didn't meet our expectations, or a business venture that didn't succeed. Failure is bound to happen when we take risks and pursue meaningful goals. The difference between those who ultimately succeed and those who remain stagnant lies in how they view failure. It's easy to let failure damage our sense of self-worth. When things don't go as planned, we may start to question our abilities and doubt our potential. The weight of disappointment can leave us feeling broken, as if the failure says something fundamental about who we are. But this mindset only holds us back. Failure, in truth, is not a reflection of our worth. It is simply a part of the process of growth. Those who achieve success understand that failure is not the end, it's a stepping stone on the path to achievement. They refuse to let their mistakes define them and instead see every setback as an opportunity to learn and improve. In times of failure, it can be tempting to spiral into self-blame. We might think that if we had only done things differently, the outcome would have been better. But this is a limited way of thinking. Every experience, even those that don't work out, offers us valuable insights and lessons. The failures we endure can sharpen our focus and help us refine our approach. Over time, these lessons accumulate, guiding us toward greater success. When we shift our perspective on failure, our resilience grows stronger. We stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of the journey. The key is to avoid letting failure define who we are. We are not our mistakes. We are the sum of our experiences, and those experiences, both good and bad, are what shape us into the people we are meant to become. Those who learn to overcome the shame and regret associated with failure find that they are far more capable than they ever realized. They discover an inner strength they didn't know they had, and this strength propels them forward. They learn to trust in the process of life, knowing that every experience, no matter how challenging, is leading them toward their ultimate potential. In the end, failure is not something to be feared. It is something to be embraced. Each failure brings us one step closer to success. By refusing to let failure define us, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities. The road to success is rarely straight, but it is always worth the journey. Failure is something everyone faces at some point. It's natural for it to influence how we see ourselves, often making us hesitant to try again or pursue our dreams. One setback can sometimes feel like it defines our future, leading us to abandon aspirations. This defeatist mindset is limiting, preventing us from seeing failure as an opportunity to learn, grow, and redefine success. It's essential to recognize that failure is part of the process, not the end of the road. When we tie our identity too closely to a specific goal, job, or relationship, failure becomes even more painful. Yet, those who can separate their sense of self from outcomes find it easier to bounce back. Successful people know that mistakes are not defining moments but simply steps along the journey. They view setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth rather than permanent marks on their effort or abilities. Take Oprah Winfrey, who was let go from her first television job, or J.K. Rowling, who wrote the first Harry Potter book while struggling as a single mother on welfare. Both faced significant failures early in their careers, but instead of letting those moments define them, they learned valuable lessons in resilience, humility, and perspective. These experiences shaped their paths to extraordinary success, reminding us that setbacks are often stepping stones to something greater. Building confidence that transcends any particular task or outcome is crucial. This sense of self-belief gives us the determination to keep trying, even after a failure. Understanding who we are, based on our principles and talents, helps us view failures as isolated events rather than reflections of our worth. A single failure doesn't define us, it just reflects what didn't work in a specific situation. By looking at failure this way, we open ourselves up to growth and avoid the trap of self-condemnation. Failure has a unique ability to teach us humility and force us to rethink our approach. A job loss may prompt a search for true passion, a failed relationship might highlight unhealthy patterns, and financial struggles could test our commitment to our dreams. These experiences, while painful, often offer new perspectives that success alone doesn't provide. Sometimes, when success comes too easily, it can lead to arrogance, fostering the belief that we have all the answers. Failure reminds us that we don't, and that's okay. The pain of failure is real, but it's not a reflection of who we are. Those who are able to embrace the lessons failure offers gain new self-awareness and develop better strategies for the future. They set realistic expectations for themselves and learn to aim higher, not by expecting guaranteed success, but by being open to the process of trial and error. Remarkable achievements come from recognizing that failure is just one part of the journey. People who achieve great things understand that failure is not an end point. It's a beginning, a chance to transform and build resilience. They don't shy away from failure or try to forget it. Instead, they view it as an essential lesson on the road to success. Each setback becomes an opportunity for reflection and self-improvement, reinforcing the importance of staying grounded in our core identities. Over time, what may have once seemed like a devastating failure can reveal itself as a source of strength. The wisdom and emotional fortitude we gain from such experiences guide us toward even greater levels of fulfillment and success. It's important to acknowledge our failures, but also to remember that they do not define us. Instead, they can become valuable tools for self-reflection and growth. Another important lesson is the power of words. The language we use, both with ourselves and with others, shapes our reality in ways we often overlook. The words we speak influence how we interpret the world and, ultimately, how we feel about ourselves. Pessimistic speech can be especially harmful, subtly reinforcing limiting beliefs and negative self-perceptions. When we say things like "I can't" or "it's impossible," we are not only expressing frustration but also programming our minds to believe these statements. Even if we don't fully embrace the negativity, voicing such thoughts gives them momentum. Our subconscious minds start searching for evidence to support these pessimistic views, trapping us in a self-fulfilling prophecy. We find ourselves constantly facing obstacles, not because they are insurmountable, but because we've convinced ourselves they are. Negative statements, even those made casually, can shift our mindset in harmful ways. For example, when we tell ourselves, "This always happens to me," or "I'm never lucky," we begin to look for patterns that confirm these beliefs. Soon enough, we start embodying the negativity we've spoken aloud, even if we didn't intend for that to happen. It's easy to slip into this cycle, but we have the power to break it. Instead of falling into negative speech, we can choose words that empower us. Phrases like "I'm frustrated, but I can find a solution," or "setbacks are normal, and I'm resilient" can rewire our mindset. When we speak positively, we program ourselves to be more open to opportunities and creative solutions. It doesn't mean ignoring the reality of frustration or disappointment, but approaching challenges with a mindset geared toward growth. Pessimistic language has a sneaky way of influencing us, even when we don't fully believe the negative thoughts we express. Words carry weight, and they affect our minds, sometimes in ways that go against what we consciously desire. When we continually speak about how things never work out or how we're always failing, we create an internal narrative that fuels self-sabotage. This can seriously harm our mental well-being over time. The words we choose to speak directly affect our beliefs about ourselves, our abilities, and our potential. Negative language, when repeated often enough, becomes a lens through which we view every aspect of our lives. It can limit our confidence, hinder our progress, and prevent us from seeing the possibilities that lie just beyond our current struggles. That's why it's so crucial to be mindful of how we speak, especially in challenging situations. Ultimately, the power of our words is something we should never underestimate. By guarding our speech and choosing words that reflect optimism, resilience, and self-belief, we can shift our mindset toward a more positive and productive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties we face, but rather equipping ourselves with the mental tools needed to rise above them. Circumstances often influence us subconsciously, particularly when we constantly rely on negative phrases like "I'm not good enough," "Why do I even try?" or "I always mess things up." Over time, these thoughts become ingrained in our minds, overshadowing our conscious goals and desires. When this happens, we find ourselves spiritually defeated, which leads to a lack of motivation to continue trying, even though we deeply want to improve our lives. This kind of negative speech doesn't just affect us individually, it can spread quickly, creating a cycle of pessimism and inaction that infiltrates every area of our lives. When we speak negatively about our jobs, relationships, or projects, it influences those around us to adopt the same mindset. This creates an environment where even those who might have been hopeful or ready to take action are discouraged before they even start. In this way, negativity becomes a mental barrier, blocking the potential for solutions or progress. It's essential to understand that this negative outlook isn't grounded in reality. It's not about pretending things are better than they are, but about recognizing the challenges and still believing in the possibility of overcoming them. Authentic optimism is rooted in facts and a realistic view of the situation. It doesn't deny problems but focuses on solutions and the belief that, with persistence, we can adapt, find new opportunities, and solve the issues we face. True hope isn't about blind positivity. It acknowledges the difficulties but also emphasizes that they are temporary. It's a mindset that says, "Yes, this is hard, but I can learn from this and grow stronger." When we stop speaking in ways that undermine our determination, we create space in our minds for positive language. This shift in mindset enables us to focus on solutions instead of becoming stuck on the obstacles. Using phrases like "I can handle this," "I'll find a solution," and "failure is just part of the journey to success" fosters resilience and persistence. Positive speech not only lifts our spirits but also opens us to possibilities we couldn't see before when we were fixated on negativity. By consciously choosing words that reflect hope and determination, we set ourselves on a path toward overcoming challenges and achieving personal growth. Positive affirmations like "I will overcome this," "I will find a solution," and "I have the skills to learn from this setback" boost our motivation and creativity. This internal shift empowers us to navigate difficult situations with a clearer mind and greater focus. It's important to note that this kind of mental reprogramming doesn't happen overnight. Shifting from a default negative mindset to one of optimism takes consistent effort. We have to be mindful of the language we use, both in thought and speech, and make a deliberate effort to replace negativity with positive, solution-focused dialogue. Over time, with dedication, this shift in mindset will allow us to unlock our full potential. By choosing to speak positively and avoid language that limits us, we expand our mental and emotional strength. We gradually develop a mindset that helps us not only survive challenges but also thrive and grow because of them. Hope, in the face of darkness, is a light that continues to guide us. Even in our most challenging moments, when everything seems bleak and hopeless, it's the presence of hope that keeps us moving forward. Hope isn't something that comes and goes with our circumstances. It's a mindset, a belief that possibilities for growth and redemption always exist, even when we're struggling. During our hardest times, it's easy to fall into despair, believing that there's no way to improve our situation. Adversity can weigh us down, both physically and emotionally, draining our motivation and resilience. When we feel overwhelmed, our perspective narrows, and all we can see are the obstacles holding us back. The darkness surrounding us feels inescapable, and we long for a way out. But it's in these moments, when hope seems so distant, that we must dig deep to find even the smallest glimmer of light. Sometimes, it feels nearly impossible to find hope when the challenges we face seem insurmountable. The complexities and stresses of life can make it hard to see a clear path forward. It's like being stuck in a fog, desperate for a sign that things will improve. But often, it's the smallest signs of hope that we need to nurture. These little sparks can lead us out of the darkness if we hold on to them, believing in the possibility of a fresh start. When we choose to embrace hope, we challenge the discouraging voices of despair. We refuse to let hardship define our future or trap us in a cycle of negativity. Holding on to hope gives us the strength to keep pushing forward, believing that brighter days are ahead, even when everything around us feels uncertain or overwhelming. The power of hope lies in its ability to sustain us during tough times. It offers us mental and spiritual nourishment, giving us the courage to continue when giving up feels easier. Hope is what helps us stay positive, even when circumstances are working against us. Amidst the confusion and chaos of life, hope serves as our guide, keeping us moving toward a better future. In the darkest moments, when we feel like we've hit rock bottom, hope is the inner voice that whispers to us, urging us to keep going. It reminds us that growth and purpose are still possible, even in the face of immense challenges. Many people who lose hope start to believe that their pain is all-encompassing and that there is no possibility of redemption or success. But those who manage to transform their pain into wisdom and maintain hope are the ones who ultimately thrive. Hope isn't just about waiting for things to get better. It's about actively believing in the possibility of improvement and working towards it, even when the road ahead looks difficult. When we lose hope, we lose our ability to see the opportunities for growth that hardship presents. But when we cling to hope, we empower ourselves to turn even the darkest experiences into moments of transformation. It's easy to feel weighed down by challenges, but hope reminds us that those challenges are temporary. It gives us the strength to believe that we can find solutions, learn from our experiences, and emerge stronger. By focusing on the light at the end of the tunnel, even when it's faint, we allow ourselves to keep moving forward, confident that better days are coming. hope is an essential part of the human spirit. It's what drives us to keep trying, keep believing, and keep growing. Even in our lowest moments, hope remains a constant force, reminding us that we are capable of overcoming whatever life throws our way. With hope, we can face adversity with courage, knowing that no matter how difficult the journey, there is always a path to a brighter future. In life, those who embrace the belief that possibilities extend beyond their immediate perceptions are often the ones who craft extraordinary journeys. These individuals refuse to relinquish hope, even when faced with adversity. Their creative spirits drive them to discover solutions and escape seemingly inescapable situations. Even when hope seems faint or obscured by challenges, they cling to it, which enables them to shape remarkable futures that rise above the difficult circumstances that once threatened to trap them. It's essential to nurture hope, especially in the darkest of times. Hope serves as a beacon of light, guiding us out of dark places when we are lost in confusion, trauma, or exhaustion. It reveals the potential that still exists, provided we are willing to search for it. When hope is nurtured and encouraged, it has the power to open new doors, offering fresh opportunities and ways to overcome challenges that might have previously seemed insurmountable. Hope grants us the strength to persevere even when faced with a seemingly endless string of obstacles. It illuminates insights and growth, allowing us to tap into inner strength during the most challenging times. In moments where it feels as though the light has disappeared completely, hope flickers faintly but surely, reminding us that freedom from despair is still possible. This flicker drives us to seek new perspectives, striving for any glimpse of insight to help us navigate the overwhelming darkness. At its core, hope is what keeps us moving forward when everything appears to be working against us. It allows us to rise above the challenges and forge new beginnings. By holding fast to hope, even when it's difficult, we can bring positivity into the most challenging situations. Hope becomes the force that uncovers solutions, connects us with support systems, and helps us harness untapped power to overcome our current struggles. With unwavering hope, people can cultivate the confidence, imagination, and determination necessary to envision possibilities that previously seemed out of reach. Over time, this persistence lifts them out of despair, transforming them into resilient individuals who radiate wisdom. These individuals, having emerged from their own struggles, often become guides for others who are still grappling with overwhelming challenges. It is crucial to never let go of the light of hope within. This light holds the power to turn even the darkest moments into opportunities for growth and success. Underscore 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 underscore. As long as life continues, so too does the potential for hope. Nancy stood by the kitchen window, her gaze distant, as raindrops rhythmically tapped against the glass. Her life, once so full of promise, now felt derailed, as though it had come completely off track. Not long ago, she had been filled with excitement and anticipation. Just a couple of years earlier, Nancy had been married to her college sweetheart, Mark, and they were expecting their first child together. She found joy in her work as a high school English teacher and looked forward to a future brimming with possibilities. The couple had dreams of building a family, and everything seemed to be falling into place. But then, everything fell apart. Nancy gave birth to their daughter, Lily, prematurely. Complications during pregnancy left Lily with severe health issues, requiring constant care. Nancy made the heart-wrenching decision to leave her job to tend to her daughter full-time. Medical bills quickly mounted, and the strain of Lily's care placed an unbearable burden on Nancy's marriage. A year ago, Mark left, unable to cope with the sleepless nights and financial pressures that came with Lily's condition. In an instant, all of Nancy's dreams crumbled into chaos and heartbreak. Each day was a struggle for Nancy, who found herself overwhelmed and isolated, caring for her special needs child on her own. Some days, even the simplest tasks seemed insurmountable. The joy and optimism that had once filled her heart felt like distant memories, replaced by despair and a sense of hopelessness. As she faced the long, rainy afternoon, Nancy's feelings of defeat reached their lowest point. Financial worries compounded her emotional strain, making even the thought of paying next month's rent seem impossible. Lily's cry from her crib jolted Nancy from her dark thoughts. Exhausted but determined, she forced herself to tend to her daughter, masking her sorrow with a smile. As she lifted Lily into her arms, Nancy pressed her cheek to her daughter's soft hair and hummed a lullaby. Despite everything, her love for Lily was boundless, and she felt a renewed sense of responsibility. Lily's trusting eyes gazed up at Nancy with pure adoration and hope. In that moment, Nancy realized that her daughter had no concept of the pain and heartache weighing her down. All Lily knew was the warmth of her mother's embrace and the security of being cared for. This realization struck Nancy deeply, igniting a small flicker of hope within her heart. Inspired by her daughter's innocent faith, Nancy came to understand that she, too, could choose to hold on to hope, no matter how bleak her circumstances seemed. As long as they were alive, there was always a reason to keep going. With tears streaming down her face, Nancy wept not only for her losses but also for the release that came with letting go of her resentment. She understood now that while she could grieve for the life she had once envisioned, there was no need to allow despair to consume her. Tomorrow held the potential for new opportunities, and while the path ahead might not lead to instant change, Nancy knew she had the power to make small, steady steps forward. She could fight for her daughter's future, offering Lily the sense of security and optimism that circumstances could improve. Life might never return to the version of the dream Nancy once held, but there was still hope for a reality that could be satisfying and meaningful, even if built on small victories earned through perseverance and resilience. Overcoming obstacles would require effort and determination, but Nancy understood that with each step, no matter how small, progress could be made. As Lily finally fell asleep in her arms, Nancy felt an immense weight lift from her heart. The future remained uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, Nancy believed they could find a way through. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be smooth, there would still be obstacles and hardships, but Nancy had developed a resilience that allowed her to create a new life for herself and her daughter. That life might be different from the one she had originally envisioned, but it could still be filled with purpose and value. Through her trials, Nancy had learned to persevere, to fight for what mattered most, and to find hope even when it seemed impossible. And as long as she held on to that hope, she knew they would be able to navigate whatever challenges lay ahead. Nancy's life was unraveling, and yet she held on with the kind of strength that grows quietly amid deep turmoil. Each day, despite the weight of her circumstances, she found the determination to press forward, hoping that the small steps she took would eventually lead to a brighter future. Her tenacity stemmed from one simple belief: as long as she was alive, there was always the opportunity to change her destiny. She knew that she had to continue, no matter how daunting the path ahead seemed. In times of emotional turmoil, when dreams are shattered and confidence is battered by relentless challenges, giving into despair can feel all too tempting. We may feel as though we've been met with one disappointment after another, making it seem like climbing out of the hole we've fallen into is a futile effort. The darkness closes in, obscuring any chance of hope. We can easily begin to believe that our difficult situations are permanent, that there is no way out, and that our lives will never improve. This mindset is understandable. When we focus only on the large, seemingly insurmountable problems before us, it is easy to become overwhelmed and lose sight of the inner strength we all possess. We wonder where we will find the energy to push forward, and it becomes more appealing to just stay where we are, stuck in the gloom. When life consistently reinforces a bleak outlook, it's difficult to keep believing that things will ever get better. Past experiences of disappointment shape our perspective, leading us to expect more of the same. We start to think that any attempt to improve our situation will end in failure, so why even try? Cynicism creeps in, and we numb ourselves in an attempt to shield our hearts from further pain. However, even in the midst of despair, there is one crucial truth we must remember: life is full of endless possibilities for transformation. As long as we are alive, there is always hope for change. This fundamental truth is what we must hold on to, even when it feels impossible to believe in a better future. Losing hope means condemning ourselves to a life of stagnation. It means accepting suffering as our permanent reality and slamming the door shut on any chance of progress. When we tap into our resilience, we discover that our challenges are not just obstacles, but also opportunities for growth. By maintaining hope, we are asserting our power to shape our own lives. Life continually offers opportunities for new beginnings, even if they are not immediately visible to us. Surrendering hope means surrendering our ability to take control of our destiny. The people who hold on to hope in the darkest times are the ones who eventually rise above their circumstances and live lives filled with meaning. These individuals, no matter how difficult their path, refuse to let go of hope. They understand that nothing is permanent. This belief propels them forward, allowing them to envision new possibilities. Had they given up, their visions for the future would have remained in darkness. But instead, they chose to believe that things could improve. This hope illuminates the way, revealing paths to freedom from the challenges that once seemed impossible to overcome. Maintaining hope requires tremendous courage. It means rejecting the voice inside that tells us to give up, even when the pain of past traumas and disappointments is almost unbearable. It takes an immense amount of willpower to continue striving toward our goals when the easier option is to surrender and seek temporary emotional relief. In those moments, it may seem like accepting our current situation offers a respite from the constant longing for a better reality that feels forever out of reach. Yet, the individuals who refuse to give in to despair, who continue searching for light in even the darkest times, are the ones who possess a unique spiritual resilience. These people, after enduring their struggles, emerge transformed. They come to understand that their challenges were not dead ends, but rather catalysts for creating a new destiny, one they actively shaped by holding on to hope. Their unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future allows them to escape the limitations that once bound them. They become beacons of hope for others still trapped in the depths of their own despair. The refusal to give up hope, even when faced with overwhelming adversity, is what sets apart those who become inspiring examples of strength from those who remain victims of their circumstances. It is this steadfast hope that guides us through life's most difficult moments, encouraging us to take risks in pursuit of a more meaningful existence. Hope provides the power to envision a life filled with joy and fulfillment, a life that surpasses what we once thought possible. It's crucial that we resist the urge to give in to hopelessness, even when our challenges feel permanent and insurmountable. We must remind ourselves that as long as we are alive, there is hope waiting within us, ready to be ignited. By nurturing that spark of hope, we can transform it into a bright flame, one that illuminates the way forward and reveals the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Giving up hope means relinquishing the journey before it has even begun. But for those who persist, who continue believing in their capacity to create change, the rewards are boundless. Hope and faith are deeply intertwined. Genuine hope is rooted in a profound belief, faith in something greater than ourselves, faith in our ability to persevere, and faith in the idea that our current struggles are temporary. Without this faith, hope lacks the foundation needed to carry us through life's challenges. Hope, supported by faith, rejects the notion that our difficulties are permanent or inevitable. It's a force that propels us forward, helping us rise above the circumstances that threaten to hold us down. Faith, in whatever form it takes, allows hope to endure. It gives us the strength to push back against negativity, to defy the belief that our struggles are inescapable. With hope, we see a path to freedom, a way out of the darkness. It offers us the resilience to keep going, even when the road ahead is difficult. As long as hope and faith remain alive within us, we possess the power to change our futures. No matter how deep the hole we find ourselves in, no matter how overwhelming the obstacles may seem, hope illuminates the way forward. It is this hope that fuels our determination and lights the fire of resilience that will guide us through any challenge we face. Challenging the belief that we are powerless to shape our future requires a deep, internal shift in perspective. To cultivate the courage needed to change our circumstances, we must remain open to the idea that there are forces greater than ourselves that can provide us with the strength, creativity, and resilience to face whatever challenges life brings. True hope is built on a foundation of faith, whether that faith is in a higher power, in our own capacity for growth, or in the endless opportunities life offers for transformation. Without this foundation, hope risks being reduced to mere optimism, fragile and easily shattered when confronted with life's harsh realities. Hope, without the steady grounding of faith, can devolve into wishful thinking, leaving us vulnerable to inevitable setbacks. This is because life's challenges don't simply disappear because we remain positive. Genuine hope is not about blind positivity, rather, it is a force that has been tested and strengthened by life's difficulties. It is through our struggles that we discover life is not about avoiding pain but learning how to navigate it. Through these experiences, we grow stronger, more determined, and more faithful, transforming hope into a powerful and enduring force. During the hardest times, faith becomes the fuel that keeps our hope alive. It allows us to keep our inner light burning, even in the darkest of moments. Faith not only helps us survive but also facilitates spiritual growth, guiding us toward a version of ourselves that often lies hidden beneath layers of doubt and limited perceptions. Those who achieve greatness are often the ones who, despite their hardships, never lose faith in the possibility of positive change. Even in the face of overwhelming challenges, they remain committed to their belief that transformation is always possible. These individuals confront darkness head-on, holding on to their faith with an unshakable willpower. They learn to trust in the unseen forces that are always at work, helping them grow spiritually even in adversity. By maintaining a connection to the divine or universal energy, they are able to transcend the limitations of their current circumstances. Their awareness is heightened, and they remain open to new insights and opportunities that arise when we align ourselves with these higher powers. Through prayer, meditation, or spiritual practice, they remind themselves of the infinite potential for personal growth, transformation, and renewal. For those willing to maintain their faith during difficult times, there is limitless hope. Faith acts as a wellspring from which hope continuously flows, even when external circumstances seem bleak. Those who lose their faith often find themselves trapped in negative thought patterns, unable to see beyond their current problems. Cynicism and despair take hold, making it even more difficult to find a way out. But those who persevere, holding on to their beliefs despite the darkness, accomplish remarkable personal growth. They become living examples of how spiritual resilience can lead to profound transformations. Such individuals demonstrate that true hope is not based on superficial positivity but on a deep spiritual connection that transcends the challenges of the material world. By embracing the unknown and surrendering to forces greater than ourselves, we free ourselves from the mental barriers that keep us stuck. Their lives serve as powerful examples of the profound spiritual experiences that can be accessed even in the midst of life's greatest difficulties. The deeper we go into our spiritual selves, the more we uncover the sacred foundation of faith that sustains us. This cosmic faith generates abundant hope, reminding us that we are connected to something far greater than ourselves. Relying solely on intellectual understanding or positive thinking strategies often fails to provide the lasting support we need. Instead, we must continually nurture our faith, especially during times when hope seems out of reach. When we release our preconceived notions about how hope and miracles should manifest, we open ourselves to receiving the powerful spiritual energies that can make the impossible possible. Life constantly presents opportunities to deepen our faith, and those who embrace challenges as tools for growth are often rewarded with profound spiritual awakenings. These awakenings reveal the true, unwavering power of hope, which is born from a place of deep spiritual faith. It is said that those who place their hope in the divine will have their strength renewed. Life, with all its ups and downs, can wear us down. Challenges, disappointments, and exhaustion eventually take their toll. As we struggle against adversity, our motivation can run dry, leaving us feeling resigned and defeated. In these moments of spiritual exhaustion, we stand at a critical juncture. Will we allow hope to fade away, or will we seek the strength to persevere? During times of despair, we often need to reach beyond ourselves, seeking solace from a source greater than our own capabilities. When left alone with our thoughts, it's all too easy to fall into negativity, feeling trapped by our circumstances. No matter how hard we try, prolonged adversity can weaken our spirits, making us susceptible to bitterness and cynicism as coping mechanisms. This is why maintaining a strong connection to the spiritual or divine is so essential. It provides us with the strength to keep going when we feel lost and uncertain. People who have faith in a higher power often develop a resilient mindset, believing that their inner light, as children of a boundless universe, can never be extinguished. They view their setbacks not as permanent failures but as opportunities for growth. Each challenge they face helps them grow spiritually, preparing them for the next phase of life. When we learn to see our struggles from this perspective, we realize that our suffering serves a higher purpose, one we may not fully understand in the moment, but which reveals itself in time. Every setback, no matter how painful, holds the potential to lead us toward greater wisdom, deeper faith, and a renewed sense of hope. Faith does not simply offer comfort, it gives us the strength to rise, again and again, no matter how many times we fall. Those who remain steadfast in their faith demonstrate that hope is not just a fleeting feeling but an enduring force, sustained by a deep trust in the unfolding of life's mysteries. Through this trust, we tap into the limitless potential within us, renewing our strength and discovering that even in our darkest moments, there is always light. To access the incredible miracles that await us, our souls must undergo a profound purification process. This journey involves confronting intense spiritual challenges that help us shed deeply ingrained patterns of ego and attachment, often accumulated over multiple lifetimes. Those who place their trust in divine guidance recognize that there are greater forces at work, consistently supporting and leading us through difficult times. These trials are not meant to destroy us, but to shape and elevate our spiritual growth, preparing us to integrate the wisdom and knowledge we gain along the way. For those who remain steadfast in hope, even in the face of extreme adversity, divine grace is bestowed upon them. This grace transforms their inner self, empowering them to raise the cosmic vibrational frequency and contribute to the collective good. When we disconnect from the restorative energies that come from a higher power, the darkness can feel unending. However, those who approach life's challenges with an open heart and willingness to learn will experience a deep transformation of their inner selves, leading to renewed purpose and personal growth. These individuals view every hardship as an essential step toward their spiritual development. Their lives serve as a testament to the power of hope, rooted in unwavering faith, ultimately manifesting as a supreme, omnipotent force. Those who stay faithful during times of great difficulty will find an abundance of rejuvenating energy, sustaining them through their journey. These brave souls choose to embrace the fleeting nature of despair, refusing to be deceived by its apparent finality. In their humility, they are given access to angelic revelations, which unveil the divine order behind every struggle. These spiritual insights help them see that each moment of pain is a meticulously crafted part of a larger divine plan, leading to the birth of their eternal selves. For these spiritually heroic individuals, each descent into darkness becomes a rite of passage, guiding them toward ever-deepening levels of enlightenment. While others may succumb to cynicism, defeat, or bitterness, these individuals maintain hope, even as their old self-concepts are shattered. The darkness may seem never-ending because their transformation requires them to completely release their old ways of thinking, making room for the infinite grace that awaits those who embrace the divine process. Those who believe in a higher power understand that blessings from this divine source reveal limitless possibilities, always available for those who are open to receiving them. It is this promise of cosmic alignment that grants these courageous souls the stamina to persevere through any challenge. Their spiritual energy is constantly renewed through their faith in the divine choreography that governs their lives. As they continue to believe in this sacred order, they earn divine grace, which allows them to carry on, even when things seem most difficult. For people feeling lost or hopeless, those grounded in faith see challenges as purposeful opportunities for transformation. Their clarity and simplicity enable them to receive divine messages, which are available to anyone willing to let go of everything in pursuit of hope. Every apparent death or failure in their lives is a form of divine intervention, providing them with an abundance of spiritual life that flows in all directions. Adversities are merely opportunities for the Supreme Architect to remodel their inner worlds, installing eternal spiritual technologies that transform them into beings of infinite, perpetual youth and vitality. These souls are filled with profound reverence, understanding that the highest divine forces have decreed their hope will be continually replenished. This renewal does not stem from their limited egos, but from the immersive experience of divine fires that purify them of all falsehoods. It is through these experiences that they are cleansed, emerging more connected to their true spiritual essence. When they feel hopeless, they know that the answer begins with prayer. In moments of despair, when it feels as though there is no way out, prayer offers a lifeline of hope and strength. It helps us gain perspective and access the faith we need to continue. When we face emotional devastation, whether from broken dreams, overwhelming anxiety, debilitating depression, overpowering addictions, or the collapse of cherished relationships, despair can feel insurmountable. During these times, it may seem impossible to find hope amid the darkness, but with self-awareness and spiritual discernment, we can resist the negative narratives that seek to drag us down. The weight of suffering can feel so immense that searching for hope seems futile, especially when life's harsh realities press down on us. Amid such painful experiences, it can be tempting to surrender to cynicism, bitterness, and resignation, offering a temporary escape from the ongoing anguish. However, during these trying times, it is crucial to turn to prayer and surrender, trusting in the process that brings positive change and spiritual growth. When we face challenges that feel overwhelming, it's easy to overlook the valuable lessons and potential for transformation they bring. Often, it is at our lowest points that we are invited to let go of the illusion of control. Prayer provides a way to connect with divine grace, allowing us to access spiritual resources that can bring profound change. It's a simple practice, accessible to all, that enables us to establish a conscious connection with the divine. Through prayer, we remind ourselves that despite the challenges we face, powerful forces are always at work, guiding and supporting us. Prayer aligns our consciousness with the intricate patterns of the cosmos, helping us navigate setbacks and failures as essential parts of our spiritual journey. It is a powerful tool that helps us connect with divine energies, bringing guidance, strength, and wisdom. When we pray, we let go of our personal desires for control, opening ourselves up to the divine wisdom that can flow through us, bringing healing and insights that are inaccessible through ordinary means. By praying humbly, we can connect with eternal truths and find enlightenment through our suffering. People who make a regular practice of prayer often receive divine guidance, leading them to a more profound understanding of life's deeper purpose. These spiritual practices don't simply alleviate suffering, they transform it, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and allowing us to align with a higher will. As we deepen our prayer life, we become attuned to the divine messages that are always present, guiding us through every stage of our journey. These messages help us trust the process, no matter how difficult it may seem. Prayer is not just a source of comfort, it's a path to spiritual renewal and transformation, providing us with the strength to face life's challenges with hope, faith, and perseverance. In the end, it is through this continuous process of prayer, surrender, and spiritual growth that we experience the miraculous renewal of hope and purpose. By trusting in the divine order and aligning ourselves with the sacred energies that guide us, we find the strength to persevere and the grace to evolve into our highest selves. In moments of doubt and darkness, inspiration acts as a lifeline, helping individuals reconnect with a broader perspective beyond their immediate concerns. These moments of renewal anchor them in patience and faith, reminding them that while their current darkness may seem eternal, there is a boundless light waiting to embrace them. Each prayer spoken in these valleys of pain carries the essence of their soul, revealing the deeper truth that transformation and hope lie just beyond the boundaries of their present discomfort. Prayer serves as a vital bridge between hopelessness and infinite possibilities. By tapping into this spiritual force, individuals can strengthen their faith, realizing that no difficult situation is permanent. Through sincere and heartfelt prayer, divine transmission codes remind us that our feelings of doubt and despair arise from a limited perspective. Often, we fail to recognize the vast, radiant existence beyond our self-centered illusions. It's like someone who refuses to believe in color simply because they've never seen its spectrum of light. But those who humbly pray for strength in the face of despair often experience remarkable and unexpected transformations. Tears shed in moments of sincere prayer break down barriers, allowing us to see the countless miracles that surround us daily. Slowly, the devoted begin to see glimmers of hope, realizing that their hardships serve a higher purpose. These challenges are not punishments but opportunities for growth and greater wisdom. Words spoken in moments of despair hold the power to unlock the angelic technologies hidden deep within our souls. These sacred frequencies bring about transformative changes, leading to rebirth as immortal cosmic beings, connected to the divine nature of creation. The strength of individuals who refuse to give up hope, even in their darkest times, connects them with a higher power. This connection grants them profound insights, helping them understand that all hardships are temporary obstacles leading to greater enlightenment. Regardless of the challenges we face, maintaining a consistent practice of prayer provides the spiritual strength necessary to endure. Prayer helps us move beyond our ego, connecting with the boundless light that surrounds us, even in our darkest moments. Every sincere prayer releases transformative energy, guiding us towards spiritual insights that transcend our limited understanding. These insights allow us to embrace our true divine nature, rising above worldly concerns and recognizing our place in the larger cosmic order. No matter how isolated or insignificant we may feel, we are never truly alone in our struggles. Lisa's story embodies this truth. After months of fruitless job searching, Lisa found herself frustrated, discouraged, and overwhelmed by rejection. She had graduated from college with high hopes, confident that her excellent grades, internships, and enthusiasm would secure her a place in the competitive marketing industry. Yet, despite her best efforts, the job offers never came, and her confidence began to crumble under the weight of constant rejection. Day after day, Lisa sent out resumes, received generic rejection emails, and began to question her abilities, education, and career choices. As her self-worth eroded, she withdrew from her friends and became consumed by negative thoughts. "I'm incapable," she told herself repeatedly. "No one will ever hire me." Her isolation and self-doubt deepened as the job market offered little encouragement. On her toughest days, like today, when another batch of rejection emails arrived, Lisa wondered if she should abandon her dreams entirely and settle for a job that didn't align with her aspirations. Tears streamed down her face as she glanced at the Dream Bigger poster on her bedroom wall, which had once been a source of motivation but now seemed like a distant fantasy. The sense of insignificance and isolation weighed heavily on her, feeding a growing lack of confidence in her ability to succeed. At that moment, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Jenna, her best friend. "We're having happy hour tonight with the crew. We really miss you. Let's talk about this job hunt together." Initially, Lisa considered ignoring the message, preferring to wallow in her sadness and isolation. But as she sat in her room, she realized that her self-imposed isolation was only perpetuating the negative cycle. Her friends cared about her and were eager to support her, even if she couldn't see it. Reluctantly at first, Lisa texted back, "Absolutely, I'm in. I could really use a boost." She decided to join her friends, recognizing that being around people who genuinely cared about her might help lift her spirits. That evening, as Lisa sat with Jenna and their other friends, she found herself feeling better. The camaraderie, laughter, and shared frustrations about the job search lightened the heavy weight she had been carrying. Listening to her friends talk about their own struggles with career uncertainty and self-doubt provided her with a sense of comfort and reassurance. She wasn't alone in feeling lost, and she realized that everyone was trying to navigate their path in an uncertain world. "I can't help but feel like a failure every time I get one of those rejection emails," Lisa admitted. "It feels like there's something deeply wrong with me that's keeping me from finding a job." Jenna shook her head. "You're not alone, Lisa. We all feel like that sometimes. The truth is, so many of us expect to land our dream job right after graduation, but that's not how it works for most people. We're all still beginners, learning how to figure things out. The important thing is not to give up." Jenna's words resonated with Lisa. For the first time in weeks, she felt a spark of hope reignite. It wasn't that her circumstances had changed, she still had no job offers, but she realized that the negative voice in her head wasn't telling her the whole truth. Her friend's support reminded her that setbacks were part of the journey and didn't define her worth. That evening, surrounded by friends, Lisa found herself able to laugh again. The burdens of rejection and self-doubt felt lighter when shared with people who cared about her. She realized that, while the road ahead might still be difficult, she wasn't traveling it alone. With the help of her friends and the support system around her, she could find the strength to keep going. In the end, Lisa's story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, we are not alone. Whether through prayer, reflection, or the support of those around us, we can find the strength to continue. Our struggles are temporary, and the transformative power of hope, faith, and love is always within reach. As Lisa sat with her friends, a realization began to dawn on her. She had been overthinking, letting her frustrations cloud her judgment. Yes, the job search had been grueling and difficult, but it wasn't a reflection of her abilities or worth as a person. Many people, every year, face the same struggles in their careers, and Lisa was no exception. Her setbacks did not define her. Instead, they were stepping stones toward building resilience and gaining experience in the highly competitive job market. "You guys are right," Lisa finally said, feeling a renewed sense of motivation. "I won't give up just because things are tough. These obstacles are part of the journey, and I need to stay focused on the bigger picture." With her friends' encouragement, Lisa realized that staying connected was key. By sharing her inner struggles, she found comfort in knowing she wasn't alone. Her support system was a vital source of strength, reminding her to stay grounded and hopeful, even during difficult times. As she drove home that night, a wave of gratitude washed over her. The spiral of loneliness and self-doubt she had been trapped in now seemed less daunting, thanks to the gift of friendship and the realization that she didn't have to face these challenges by herself. Determined to persevere, Lisa made a conscious decision to handle every rejection and setback with grace. She understood now that having a support system didn't make her weak, it made her strong. She no longer needed to carry the burden of her struggles alone. With her friends beside her, Lisa felt equipped to keep going, knowing that she could lean on them whenever the weight of it all became too much. In life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by struggles and challenges, to believe that we are utterly alone. But this feeling of abandonment is a deception, an illusion. Even when everything seems hopeless, we are always connected to the cosmic forces that guide us through our journeys. Though our minds may feel confined by the anguish and solitude of life's hardest moments, there is a deeper truth. These experiences are sacred, transformative, and ultimately lead us to profound awakenings. The pain we feel in isolation often serves as a catalyst for breaking down the walls we've built around ourselves. These barriers, though they may seem protective, keep us from realizing our connection to the infinite. By understanding the true essence of our being, we can dissolve these illusions of separation and embrace a sense of belonging within the vast expanse of existence. Loneliness, as overwhelming as it may feel during times of hardship, is often a sign of personal growth and spiritual awakening. When we experience isolation, we begin to peel away the layers of false understanding that prevent us from recognizing the limitless energy that created our consciousness. In those moments, we're reconnecting our individual sparks to the infinite wellspring of creation, a process that's both heroic and transformative. Every tear shed in times of loneliness is a step toward unity and redemption. It's in those moments of feeling completely abandoned that we have the potential to become heroes, merging our vulnerability with the greater whole. As we uncover deeper layers of ourselves, our perceptions become clearer, allowing us to see the eternal beauty that fills what once seemed like an empty void. The experiences of solitude and disconnection are not meaningless. Rather, they are part of our journey toward wholeness, constantly guiding us toward completeness. These moments demand that we let go of the protective shields we've created, pushing us to confront the unknown. It's in this confrontation that we rediscover our deep connection to the world and find the belonging that has always been there, patiently waiting for us. In the realm of disconnection, our souls find peace in the unity and love that permeate every aspect of the universe. No heart is destined to remain forever trapped in isolation, no matter how deep the despair may seem. If we have faith in the divine choreography that guides our lives, we come to realize that every moment spent in isolation holds deep spiritual significance. These experiences help us evolve, leading us to a state of non-dual mastery, a place where we understand the interconnectedness of all things. Those who have walked this path often return with wisdom, shedding light on the cosmic unity that binds us all. They become guides, helping others navigate their own journeys of disconnection and reminding them that the feelings of alienation are just illusions. These illusions are created by souls that are striving to reconnect with the source of eternal happiness. As we undergo these transformative experiences, we are supported by cosmic forces that push us beyond the limitations we once knew. Every moment of loneliness tests our faith in the infinite love that surrounds us. Yet, these moments also serve as reminders to stay spiritually vigilant, to preserve our transcendent perspective as we move through the darkest nights of our journey. These dark moments are not signs of failure but rather significant milestones in our spiritual growth. They are times when we are called to let go of the illusions that have held us back and embrace our true selves. It's in our most vulnerable moments that we reach the point of truly understanding our eternal essence. The idea of separation from the divine is, in reality, a lesson, a way for us to grow, learn, and ultimately reunite with the infinite. In navigating through the dimensions of disunity, we gain the clarity and strength needed to shine as torchbearers of truth. These trials ensure that we emerge as unwavering beacons of light, broadcasting the simplicity and beauty of the connection that binds us to the universe. Every struggle, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. By embracing the unknown with bravery, we break through the barriers that limit our awareness. We come to understand that we are deeply connected to the universal love that sustains everything. And in this realization, we shine brightly, not just for ourselves, but for others who are still searching for that same truth. In the end, these experiences are gifts. They may come wrapped in the pain of isolation or the sting of rejection, but they are opportunities to grow, to deepen our understanding, and to reconnect with the infinite source of love and unity that has always been within us. In the face of life's trials, maintaining unwavering faith can transform the most daunting challenges into opportunities for profound growth. Even when shadows of abandonment seem to envelop us, holding steadfast to our inner strength can dissolve these fleeting feelings. Often, we encounter periods where we feel isolated, as though the world has turned its back on us. Yet, it is in these moments that we can become sources of light, demonstrating that every sense of separation is actually a pathway to deeper personal development and a closer connection with the divine. When we confront feelings of profound loneliness and sorrow, our tears and heartbeats become echoes of a deeper struggle. These experiences, though painful, are crucial as they break down the walls we have constructed around ourselves. These walls are meant to shield us, but they also obscure our perception of the truth, that our sense of isolation is merely an illusion. This illusion, however, can guide us towards the profound understanding of our inherent interconnectedness. The dark nights of our souls may appear overwhelming, but they are not signs of our abandonment. Angelic beings and benevolent forces are always present, providing comfort and reminding us of our eternal belonging. As we navigate the complexities of spiritual existence, we are guided toward deeper realizations about our connection to the sustaining energy of the universe. Eventually, what once seemed disconnected becomes clear, as we recognize our interwoven destinies and our journey towards reuniting with our true selves. Despite the inherent challenges of loneliness, there is solace to be found in the subtle realms of spiritual exploration. These realms offer a higher level of perception and emotion, allowing us to embrace the undeniable truth that we are part of something greater. On these distant shores of spiritual freedom, we release any remaining barriers that obscure the limitless brightness of connection. Here, loneliness fades into a comforting embrace, revealing the significant task hidden within every feeling of isolation. It is through these trials that we prepare ourselves for each new phase of eternal existence. In the face of apparent separation, we come to understand and accept our interconnectedness within the vast universe. Every tear shed in moments of abandonment carries within it the seeds of unshakable certainty about our connection to universal love. These lessons, though challenging, serve as sources of inspiration and strength, helping us turn despair into victory. Finding hope during difficult times demands great courage and resilience. There will be moments when hope seems lost and cynicism threatens to take hold. However, it is crucial to remember that these lessons are designed to be straightforward, offering inspiration to help us find inner strength and perseverance. Even when times are tough and the path seems unclear, unseen forces are at work, guiding us toward growth and fulfillment. Patience during these challenging initiations is essential as they help us shed self-limiting beliefs and habits that hinder our transformation. No matter how difficult the situation may seem, maintaining faith and hope allows us to defy narratives of defeat. Imagining the brighter future beyond the current gloom can empower us to push through. Those who consistently hold on to hope through prayer and devotion often discover strengths that surpass their previous limitations. Every setback and moment of hitting rock bottom, though excruciating, contributes to our growth. These experiences shape us into wiser, more resilient individuals, capable of overcoming what once seemed insurmountable. The challenges we face strengthen our spirit and prepare us for ultimate success. Believing in the profound significance of our lives, even when its beauty feels distant, is crucial. The journey ahead may be fraught with challenges, but it is also one that transforms us into guides and sources of inspiration for others. When motivation wanes, returning to these teachings can offer a boost of energy and inspiration. The determination to persevere, despite obstacles, can lead us to triumph, granting us wisdom, joy, and capabilities beyond our imagination. This journey, though challenging, is meaningful, shaping us into guiding lights for those still navigating the shadows. In moments of despair, these timeless truths can serve as powerful reminders of the strength and resilience inherent in every hero's journey. By looking to those who have overcome their own struggles and emerged as beacons of hope, we find motivation to cultivate our own heroic legacy. Remaining resilient in the face of life's difficulties allows us to continue developing our inner strength and inspiring others along the way. Ultimately, each challenge we face is an opportunity to deepen our connection to the universal love that sustains us. Every experience of isolation and struggle holds a deeper significance, guiding us toward a fuller understanding of our true nature. By embracing these lessons and remaining steadfast in our faith, we not only transform ourselves but also become sources of hope and inspiration for those who follow in our footsteps. As we navigate the path of personal growth and spiritual awakening, we realize that the essence of our journey is not about escaping challenges but embracing them as opportunities for enlightenment. Through perseverance and faith, we uncover the profound interconnectedness of all existence, turning each trial into a testament to our enduring strength and resilience. Copyright 2024 by FreeBooksTube. Thank you for listening. Please consider to subscribe, like, and share to help the channel grow new videos on a daily basis.